Welcome to Texas Live with K5, your number one podcast for all things outdoors in North Texas.
Welcome to Texas Live with K5. Here I got a guide from PK. How you doing, TJ?
Oh, pretty good. How are you?
Welcome, man.
Shoot, yeah.
Thanks for coming. We talk outdoors and fishing and hunting and everything, and you're one of the top guides in the area on one of my favorite lakes. I just wanted to invite you on, man.
Yeah,
So,
heck yeah.
What's been going on?
Not much, just staying busy.
Have you?
Just working every day.
Fish biting?
Yeah, it's not great at the moment, but you can still catch fish.
Yeah, as long as the wind's not blowing 40.
Yeah. As long as it's not like today.
You're right. It's rough out there.
But this is perfect strapper weather.
Is it really?
Yep, you're gonna see two groups of people on the lake on days like today. Strapper fishermen and duck hunters.
Oh, okay. Is duck hunting pretty big out that way?
It's getting bigger.
Okay.
And I think that's really just because there's less and less public land.
Right.
But I wouldn't call the duck hunting out there just amazing.
Right.
By any stretch.
Yeah, well, it seems like that on public water. I think they can hunt, they hunt Ray Roberts, and pretty much, there's several places they can go out.
Oh yeah. There's all kinds of lakes that are, within a couple hours.
Yeah, do they say more up the river?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, BRA's got, it's PK's BRA Lake. They've got spots. You apply for a draw, you go to their office, pay your whatever the cost is, and they draw names, and then when you get picked, you can actually go up to the map that they've got there and pick your spot. They've got numbered spots, and then you just pick whichever one you want.
Okay. Sounds like a lot of work to kill a duck.
It's a whole lot of work.
Man, sorry you got into all that, but you guide predominantly on PK?
Yep.
And what do you target?
Stripper, sand bass, a little bit of catfish, but only when I absolutely have to.
Okay. Y'all like them slimy fish?
No, I do not. I have a hatred for catfish to no end.
Man, but we've got some giants out there.
There's some good ones.
There is some big ones.
It's not to like Tawakoni or anything like that, but you're not gonna go out there and catch a 70-pounder every day. But there's some good catfish.
Right, river fishing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Man, so what's the name of your guide service?
Ranft Guide Service.
Ranft Guide Service, and how can they reach you?
Facebook, obviously my phone.
You want to give your number?
Yeah, 940-452-8439.
Okay. And when's the best time for them to come out?
Anytime. We catch fish year round. There's not necessarily a slow season. Just
okay.
Book a trip and we'll get you taken care of.
Awesome, man. That's cool. So you've been out there. How long you been out at PK?
I've lived there my whole life.
Okay.
My family's been there since 45, I believe.
Man.
1945.
When was the lake impounded? Do you know?
They started building the dam in 1939 and finished in 41.
Dang, so they were there. Your family's been in that area before it ever filled up.
Yep.
So just when it was a river.
Yep.
That's
We've
cool.
been there a long time.
That's awesome. So are you you're what, a third generation guide?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Granddad was full-time fishing guide, Possum Kingdom. My dad was part-time, weekends, holidays, that kind of stuff. And then I started out weekends, holidays, and transferred over to full-time.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
So
that's fun.
It's a what's the best way to put it? You have to have a passion for it.
I bet.
It'll ruin you if you don't.
I bet, man. But you probably meet all kinds of people. I bet you. One thing that's really cool is when you take kids and families out, put them on fish, man, they're making memories that they'll never forget.
Oh yeah. Families are most of my business. There's some guides that they do a lot of bachelor parties and stuff like that, and that's cool. They're fun. They're awesome trips, but I like families. Getting to watch the kids catch fish that otherwise they'd probably never get to catch.
Yeah,
is well worth it.
Guys like you and I, we've been fishing our whole life, but some of these people have never probably ever been on a boat.
Oh yeah.
So,
I probably once every 2 weeks I get somebody who's never been on a boat before, never fished, never caught a fish before, and they just never grew up doing that stuff.
Man, that's awesome. So can you target, you were saying that the striper and the sand bass, can you target those year round?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Different tactics, different times of the year, different areas of the lake. PK's a tough lake to fish. If you've ever fished it, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
But it can change on the wind direction change completely different fishing.
And you're fishing for fish that never stop moving.
Oh yeah,
Right.
No,
I
they
mean,
they never quit. They like a shark. They're just constantly swimming.
Yeah, it's got to be. I know it's tough because I always tell everybody I go out there and I target bass and crappie, and if I run into striper, it turns into a striper fishing trip. But it's very rare that I run into them. So that's why I respect guys like you, Steve. I mean, y'all can go out and target them every day.
Oh,
Me,
yeah.
I struggle. I don't know how y'all do it.
You gotta be a little willing to burn gas.
Yeah, I bet.
Put a lot of fuel. There's days where I might run 60, 70 miles on the lake, just one spot to another.
Wow. You probably get some of those kids in that family that don't mind that. They like running.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I get some kids, they love fishing. They don't want to do anything other than catch fish. Whether you're catching fish or not, that's just all they want to do.
Right.
And then I get other kids who catch 2-3 fish and they're like, hey, can we go for a ride? Yeah, give it 10 more minutes.
Yeah, I don't care as long as they're having fun. A lot of times.
Yeah, that's the big part, is just getting them out there, getting them in the outdoors.
How many people, I would imagine that the worst part about being a guide is cleaning fish, but I bet you got it down.
The cleaning fish doesn't bother me.
Okay.
And the reason being, it sucks. You're covered head to toe, blood and guts, poop, and everything else. Dead shad, you name it.
Yeah.
But that just means you get to catch fish.
Oh yeah, man. I guess for me, that's what I've always told myself, man. I love taking people fishing, but I hate cleaning fish. For just recently, I started keeping a few fish because we do some fish fries at our church and stuff. So I keep a few every now and then. But if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't keep them. I just enjoy catching.
Oh yeah,
So-
no. If I go out myself, I'm not cleaning fish.
Just let them go.
Yep.
Man, well, are y'all seeing a good population of fish right now? It kind of goes up and down, doesn't it?
Yeah, it varies from year to year, but right now I feel like it's pretty low. It could be better. We've got a good population of small fish. They're just not keepers.
They just got to grow.
Yeah, just gotta give them time.
Man, there's so much bait in that lake, though.
Oh, it's insane. I can't say I've ever seen as much bait in that lake as we are right now.
That's great. Isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. More bait, bigger fish.
Yeah.
They grow faster.
How fast does a striper grow?
It takes roughly 3 years to get them to 18 inches. From an egg that's the size of the end of a ballpoint pen to an 18-inch fish, you're looking at roughly 3 years.
Wow. We're about 2 years out from having a pretty good stock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 years. It just kind of depends on how much bait's in the lake.
Wow.
More bait, they grow faster.
That's awesome. So you're talking about, a while ago, we were talking about you being a third-generation guide in your family. How's the fishing changed since your grandfather?
Oh, I've asked him that question hundreds of times, in different forms, fashions, but he when he first started guiding, he's like, man, we were catching 20-pounders every trip. It got to one a week, and then one a month, and then every 6 months, and he's like, it just over time it just slowly got smaller and smaller.
Wow.
And I think we're starting to see that at PK back around fish. The more you catch, the more that are going to die. Even catching are going to have some that they just don't eat after you catch them.
Stress.
Yeah, just the stress in general. They just won't eat. They'll literally just starve to death.
Wow.
But that being said, catch and release is also a good thing.
Right. So your grandfather, back when this lake first opened, he was guiding. Did they have striper? Were they putting striper in then, or is that a new thing?
If I remember right, it was back in the 70s at sometime when they started releasing striper.
Okay.
And of course, I asked him how long he guided, and he's like, I don't know, I can't remember. You like, well, give me a guess, Papa. And he's like, my parents own the fish camp there, Pat McCormick's camp. If any of y'all have ever heard of that, that was his parents. And so he's like, they get people that come in, hey, will you take us fishing? We'll pay you. And then, he'd take them out today or something.
Wow.
Take them crappie fishing or sand bass or something like that. And then when they started releasing strappers, he kind of switched over and started running strapper trips.
Man.
And just kind of, after that, he just kind of stuck to stripers.
Man, could you imagine going from catching sandies and largemouth and catfish, and then all of a sudden you're catching a striper?
Yeah, it happens on the boat. You'll be sitting there catching sand bass and catfish and whatever else is we're fishing for, and then all of a sudden you'll hang one of those stripers, and it's night and day difference.
It's like the closest thing to, and we're going to talk about this here in a little while, fishing for saltwater fish.
Oh, yeah.
Saltwater fish are mean, and so that's why, man, I love catching striper, dude.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so if you didn't know, stripers are actually a saltwater fish.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they come from the East Coast, Boston, and that part of the world. They migrate up and down the coast over there. And they got seasons and seasons and seasons and size limits and all this other stuff over there. But you get off into that stuff, and you can bury yourself in paperwork and articles and everything else under the sun.
Man, so y'all check that out. I bet they're huge.
Oh,
They get a lot bigger.
They've got some giants.
Man.
Saltwater run striper just get bigger.
Man, that's awesome. They got bigger, a lot more bait probably,
Yeah.
and a lot more area to grow.
Yep.
So
Body of water makes a difference. Bigger body of water, bigger fish.
yeah, that's awesome, man.
But no, they're saltwater fish, and then from my understanding, they trapped a bunch of them behind the dam when they built the dam, because they run up the rivers to spawn.
Okay.
They spawn in freshwater, and then they head back offshore, and just migrate up and down the coast. And they had trapped a bunch of them in some dam that they were building. I forget which one, but everybody just assumed they'd all die off, and they thrived in whatever lake that was. And after that, they just started moving them across country.
Wow.
Now they're from one coast to the other. Hell, you've got saltwater run stripers in California.
Wow, that's wild.
Oh, it's a cool fish.
Yeah. So do they? I wonder. Surely they've got them up around Great Lakes, stuff like that, up north, or is it too cold?
I don't know. It might get too cold for them up
Okay.
there. I know you get up north and they've got hybrids, wipers. They call them wipers up there.
Okay.
But no, it's they. I don't know if they've got stripers.
Do we have hybrids in PK?
There's a few.
Okay.
Very few, but they're there.
Okay. I didn't know when you're catching sand bass if you've got to pay close attention.
Yeah, most of the time no.
Okay.
And your hybrids stick out. If you're catching a bunch of sand bass and you catch a hybrid, you notice it.
Okay.
Their stripes are just real more defined, dark colored stripes versus the sand bass, which is really a fine, thin line.
Right. Well, for some people like me, I haven't ever caught hybrids, so I don't know.
Most people would never notice it. You
Yeah.
know, they'd be like, "Damn, that thing's got a really dark stripe."
Yeah.
But you hear people say, "Oh, it's the broken lines. Look for the broken lines." Not a great way to tell.
No.
It's all genetics. In Texas, anyways, all of your stripers are all raised in a hatchery. You've got one fish that's got more broken lines than the other. Its offspring will have broken lines,
Okay.
and then that just compounds itself over time. But
Wow, that's cool.
I read an article a while back that they're doing some AI stuff over on the East Coast, and they're tracking stripers, and they've tagged a handful of them with the little I think they call them pit tags, the little wire tag, and they've got cameras stationed in particular rivers, and they can actually tell which fish is which by the stripes. It's like a fingerprint.
Wow.
Every fish has got its own stripe.
Man, that's too cool.
But obviously that changes if it gets a scar on its side or something like that. But
Yeah, that's neat though, man. I've never heard of any of that.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a wild concept to think about.
when you're a Texas boy, you think Texoma and PK come to mind when
yeah.
you're thinking stripers.
Yep.
I think I've caught a few at Tawakoni.
Yeah, you got them there.
Yeah, me and my wife and kids, we rented a VRBO house out there, and I wanted to take the kids out and put them on sand bass, and they were saying they were surfacing. So we got out there, birds were hitting, and we started catching a few stripers mixed in, and it blew my mind. I didn't know. I thought only PK or Texoma.
Yeah, they've got hybrids and stripers.
Okay.
I wish PK had more hybrids. I love catching hybrids. They fight harder than a striper does.
Really?
Pound for pound, they fight a lot harder.
And that's a mixture between a sand bass and a striper?
Yep.
Okay.
White bass and a striper.
Okay.
Just depends on what kind of part of the country you're from.
Right. Yeah. It's funny because you hear different people calling different things. The white bass, sand bass, you got, what do they call the sockeye? Or
Yep.
sockeye for crappie or something like that down.
Sockeye or something.
Yeah. I'm like, what in the world? White perch? You hear it all.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. Well, guys, stay with us. We're going to take a little break real quick. And, man, TJ has done some work at the fish hatchery. So we're going to talk about that. So y'all stay with us. This show is brought to you by K5 Trolling Motors and Electronics out here in Weatherford, Texas. If you need a trolling motor repaired, if you need one replaced, if you're looking to upgrade electronics, give us a call. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Phone number is 817-757-9915. Welcome back to Texas Live with K5. I got TJ Ranft here with
Ranft Guide Service.
Ranft Guide Service.
Got to get all the letters.
I know. I was trying Ranft. It's hard to say, man. I don't want to say it wrong. Everybody butchers mine. I'm Kisser, Kaiser. It's always.
Yep.
So I feel you.
Yep.
But man, I wanted to talk about, you and I were having a conversation that you used to do some work out at the fish hatchery.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there is a fish hatchery behind the dam.
Yep.
At PK.
Yep. Possum Kingdom Fish Hatchery.
Okay. Cool, man. Man, tell us about it.
I was the maintenance guy out there. I was in charge of keeping everything running. The only maintenance guy. Full-time job.
Wow.
I tell you. But no, I got to do a lot of the fish stuff just because we were such a small group. I think we're one of the smallest hatcheries as far as employees go in the state, which there's only, I think it's 6 or 7 hatcheries total. But we're one of the smallest. Everybody did everything.
Man.
And hell, I got to haul fish. I got to go out and do fish shocking surveys and all that stuff.
Man, talk about a lot of information that you probably got to learn.
Yeah, I knew a lot about stripers before I started working there just because I'm fishing for them every day. And that's just, you have to, the more you fish for something, the more you learn. But it really opened my eyes to the scientific side of stuff. The real fine, minute water changes and stuff like that.
Man, they do, basically, are they bringing in fish from out in the lake and spawning them out?
Not anymore.
Okay.
They used to up until 3, 4, 5 years ago, something like that. They would go to Lake Livingston, and they'd shock stripers behind the dam there. And they would, 2 parts of Texas Parks and Wildlife. There's a couple, but you've got the hatchery division and you've got the management guys, your biologists, the guys that you see on the water doing the krill surveys and all that kind of stuff. But they would both meet at the Livingston Dam, behind the dam, and then they would go up, the management guys would go up there, shock fish, shock big stripers. They're looking for those 10, 12, 14, 20 pound fish. And they net them, bring them back to shore, and then the hatchery guys check to make sure they're ready to spawn. If they're, because they want them, I want to say it's within, when they want the fish to be ready to spawn within like 24 hours of when they catch them.
Man.
They shock them, they put them in trailers, the fish hauling trailers, and then they haul ass all the way back to PK. They dump them in the tanks there, not the ponds, but there's some tanks inside the hatchery that they put them in. And then from there, they spawn them the following morning, typically.
Okay.
Sometimes it's early in the morning. Sometimes you're there starting spawning at 10 o'clock that night. It's just whenever the fish want to spawn.
Wow. That's got to be pretty darn busy.
Oh yeah. That's you pretty much work all year for that 1 or 2 week window. They spawn twice typically. The hatchery spawns fish twice. They'll spawn when they were collecting wild brood stock. They also had some hatchery raised brood stock fish that never been in the wild. That's the only thing they've ever known was those ponds. And they would spawn the wild fish typically first, and then they could delay the captive brood stock a week or 2 weeks, whatever they needed to, with the water temperature, raise the water temperature in the tanks a little bit to slow them down or cool it down, whatever they needed to do, and delay them. But because everything's water temperature, everything's based around water temperature. And wrong time of year, wrong water temperature, fish ain't gonna spawn. But they'd spawn the wild bird stock, bring them in, spawn them, then you'd end up with your eggs. And if you don't know how striper spawn, they're not like a bass where they're gonna go build a nest and guard that nest and do all the stuff the bass do. But they're open water spawning fish. They're just gonna come in. Female's gonna do her thing. Male's gonna come in, fertilize the eggs, and then they're done. The eggs just float around until they hatch.
Wow.
Which is roughly 72 hours, 48, 72 hours. Just depends on water temperature. And then once the eggs hatch, they're fry. They turn into fry, and then at that point, the fry can fend for themselves. They can swim, do whatever they need to do. But no, they'll bring the fish in, spawn them. You'll end up with millions of little tiny eggs that are the size of a ballpoint pen, maybe a little bit bigger. And then they put those in McDonald's jars, which is essentially just a cylinder jar with a rounded bottom. And there's a little tube that runs down it that they call a shad. And it just circulates water through that down through that tube, out the bottom, and then it flows up and out the top of the jar. And you're essentially replicating what the stripers would see in nature, flowing water.
Okay.
Because those eggs have to stay suspended while they're an egg in the water column. If they follow the bottom or they sit in one spot for too long, they'll suffocate. And at that point, the eggs they're dead. They don't do anybody good, and they can actually affect the rest of the eggs in that jar, just because they start growing fungus, bacteria, all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
When they spawn fish, there is somebody there 24/7, 7 days a week, whatever it takes.
Isn't it just a wild number? How many eggs per? How many fish survive?
I want to say it's something, because they do everything in metric. Everything in the hatchery world is metric. Everything's weighed in kilograms, millimeters, everything. They kind of expect roughly 100,000 eggs per kilogram of fish weight. A 10-pound fish is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 or 5 kilograms. I don't know what the conversion is, but you're looking at 400,000, 500,000 eggs out of one fish.
Wow.
And you start thinking about that in a lake setting, that's a lot of fry.
Yeah. So, do we ever get spawns, actual natural spawns at any of our lakes?
Yeah, so Texoma gets a spawn every year, every other year, fairly regular. PK gets one not near as regular, but one at every 10, 15 years, something like that.
Wow.
It just depends on the weather. When you get lots of water flowing into the lake at the right time of the year, them stripers will spawn, the eggs will hatch, and all of a sudden there's a billion little fry swimming around.
Man, I think I've seen that before, and I didn't know.
A lot of people, you might see it, and you just never, look at all them little mosquitoes swimming around.
Yeah.
Because that's what it looks like. They look like the little mosquito larvae that you see in a 5-gallon bucket you left laying out in the yard.
Wow. I guarantee I've seen that and just didn't know that's what it was. So, do they primarily, you said it was water temperature based, so same thing with bass. Is it, they spawn in the spring?
Yeah. Yep.
And if we got the water flows right, when the water starts cooling off, right now, you may have a spawn, could?
No, you won't see one in the fall.
Okay.
It's really just a spring thing.
Okay.
Spring, again, all based on water temperature, but this year, hell, it's been weirdly hot. It's the end of October, and it's supposed to be 70 degrees today.
Yep. Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah, it's a weird. Normally this time of year we're bundled up in jackets and coveralls and. But no, it's a spring thing.
Right. So, have they done any kind of stocking with PK? Was it about a year ago?
Yeah, they stock almost every year or every other year. If they skip a year, you can almost be guaranteed you'll get a stocking the next year. But with that being said, it needs bigger stockings. We're just catching too many fish out of the lake. The lake's getting more popular.
Yeah.
There's you can see it on the lake. Hell, I can see it from when I was this tall. I can remember going out on the lake and you might not see another person all day.
Wow.
And then now, hell, you park at the boat ramp and there's 10 of the boats in the parking lot in the middle of the winter.
Yeah, tournaments and everything else.
Yeah, there's a 100 boat bass tournament every weekend.
Yeah.
If not 2 or 3 of them.
Man.
And in the fall and the spring, and then it kind of lays off a little bit in the winter, but then summer you don't see any tournaments of any kind.
Man, could you imagine, and this comes to mind because my daughter just got done doing that Camp Grady Spruce trip. It's a 2-night trip with her school. And they ended up hiking to the top of Hell's Gate and did their little spiel about the story and all that. And she started telling me that, and I did that when I was a kid, but I don't remember the story of Hell's Gate.
Yeah, it's... and I know I'm going to butcher it horribly. You can Google it. There's,
Well, what I was thinking about was your grandfather and what PK looked like before all the houses.
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine?
It's changed a bunch just in my lifetime.
Does he have old pictures or anything?
No, they used to have some old pictures of just family stuff, but there's not really any old pictures of the lake.
Man.
Nobody thought to take pictures of that stuff.
Right.
Plus, back then, cameras were and it was expensive.
Yeah.
You didn't take pictures of the wiring in your boat just so you could remember it later.
Right. Man, that's insane. I don't think about that kind of stuff, but it's basically, I'll take a boat down here that I'm working on. You get some of these boats, it looks like they let a kindergartner wire them, and wires everywhere. Used to, when I first started, I'd zip tie things all together so I'd know, okay, all these wires go together, but I've just recently started getting my phone and taking a picture going, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wires on the negative post. Got to make sure I got 9 when I go back, when I'm terminating on the block. Anyway, that's wild. I never thought about that.
No, my granddad, him and my dad, they go camping once a month or something growing up, and hell, they used to camp down by the dam where the ranch is now, which is a huge housing development. And he's like, we camped down there for a couple of days and not see anybody. You might see one fisherman or something like that, but you wouldn't see the number of boats that you see now. Wow. You don't see the ski boats and the wakeboard boats and all the bass boats and all the striper fishermen and all of that stuff. You just didn't see it.
Yeah, my biological father, he used to go out there, I guess, back whenever he was young man, and with some church youth group, they would go out there. There was hardly any houses, and then later on, whenever he was probably early 20s, he's a big wood carver, so he would go out there and he out of everything in the world to carve, he loves PK driftwood. But he told me, he goes, man, when I took him out there, we just met last year for the first time, and he was telling me about all these memories of PK, and I said, I'll tell you what, let's go. I'll take you. So he loaded up in the boat. I took him out, put him on his first striper, but we're driving around out there, and he goes, it don't even look like the same lake with all these mansions and everything. He goes, this is insane.
Every other house is $1 million house.
He said back in his day, he had never even heard of PK until he met that youth pastor at his church, and they took him out there.
Yeah.
He goes, but nobody knew about it, and that's the way everybody knows about it now. It's getting popular. It's gotten popular.
I can go. I've been in Colorado, and people ask, "Where are you from?" I'm like, you probably don't know PK. Like Possum Kingdom? Yeah. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we know where that is."
What's the story on Possum Kingdom? Is there a big possum family or something? What's going on here?
Again, I'm gonna butcher that story too, but back before the lake was there, when everything was just still trees, Brazos River, nothing was there, no houses, no nothing. There was some guys that trapped that part of the world, fur trappers, and they would haul their furs into town and sell them after every month or whatever it was. Well, they would, every time they'd walk in, the guy that was buying the furs, oh, there's my boys from Possum Kingdom, because they always had a bunch of possum furs.
Oh, wow.
And they were just good at trapping possums, so that's what they had. And the name just, for whatever reason, stuck.
Man, that is too cool. I wondered that. Possum Hollow and Fox Hollow and all that. I wondered if there was a story behind it. I figured there has to be.
There's probably a story to all that stuff.
We're going to have to get your grandpa on here.
He would be a good one for you.
That'd be neat. Well, guys, stick with us. We're going to talk some more fishing here shortly with Ranft Guide Service, PK. I'm going to get it down before the end of the show. Y'all stick with us. Guys, this show is brought to you by K5 Trolling Motors and Electronics out here in Weatherford, Texas. If you need a trolling motor worked on, if you're looking to get your trolling motor replaced, give us a call. We'd love to help you out. Phone number is 817-757-9915. Give us a holler. This show is also brought to you by
Ranft Guide Service. 940-452-8439.
If y'all want to go get on some big old fish out at PK, give TJ a call. Welcome back to Texas Live with K5 here. Got TJ with Ranft Guide Service at Possum Kingdom Lake. Man, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, not a problem.
Man, I wanted to talk a little bit. I hear some people are solid fishing artificial baits, some fish live. Does it just depend on if you can get bait, or what is it?
Yeah, for me, it's live bait or nothing.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's just strictly live bait. But now, if I see them schooling on the top, by God, I'm gonna be throwing the top water of some form or fashion. But
man, I love seeing a fish smoke something on top.
There's absolutely no better way to catch a fish, any fish.
Yeah.
But no, you've got guys who are just strictly artificial, and it's kind of the same way on the coast. You get the guys that go out and fish live bait for trout and redfish and stuff like that, versus the guys that are strictly artificial.
Yeah.
And it's a never-ending battle. Everybody claims their way's better.
I hate artificial bait fishing down there at the coast. I have not figured it out, man. Even this last time we went down to the coast, took our kayaks out in the surf down there by Bob Hall, and we got on a giant, remember I told you, 500 to 800 redfish. Never in my life have I ever seen a school of fish like that. And I was still catching them on live bait. My best friend's fishing with a swim bait, and he's wearing them out, and I'm fishing with live bait because I had the bucket of mullet right there between my legs and the kayak, so I throw it on there, throw it out there, boom, they'd hit it, reel one in, and I used every bit of that live bait. But I used to not be that way, man. But I'm kind of turning into that.
My theory on it is you can't beat the real thing.
For sure.
You know, that's what they eat every single day. Versus, never in my life have I seen a pink minnow swimming around.
Yeah.
But for whatever weird reason, they think they got to eat that too.
Yeah. Well, striper aren't real picky, are they?
They can be.
Can they?
They can be stupid picky.
Huh.
There's days where you're fishing 15 foot and you've got one rod at 16 foot and one rod at 15. The one at 15 is going to catch every single fish.
Wow.
Put one at 14 and it doesn't get bit. You set that same rod at 15, by God, they're going to eat it.
Man.
And it's every day's different.
You ever drop the jig and the live bait beside each other, and do they always go to the live first?
Yeah. In the wintertime, for example, dead stick, you hear that a lot in the winter. Customers got their live bait rods set out and they're all watching rods or something. I might pick up a rod that's got a dead stick bait on it and drop it down there just to give me something to do. Keep my hands occupied.
Yeah.
But no, most of the time, I feel like live bait will outfish artificial 5 out of 10 days.
Man, it's hard to find that bait sometimes, ain't it?
It definitely can be.
I was talking to a catfish guide, one of my very first clients, that he brought me a talon and had me work on it. But anyway, he was having issues because he likes to use big gizzards. Mm-hmm. But whenever it gets to this time of the year, I guess there's a lot of small shad.
Yep.
And he's having a hard time catching big shad.
Yeah, it's just like your artificial fishing, you know. One day them stripers might want a bait that's 2 inches long, but won't hit a 3-incher. The next day they want nothing but 6-inch, 7, 8-inch long baits.
Wow.
It ain't nothing for me to drop an 8 or 10-inch long bait down there.
You catch shad that big?
Oh yeah. We've caught it as big as 18 inches.
Wow.
There's not a fish in PK that could eat an 18-inch shad, but the Volkswagen-sized catfish that lives under the dam.
Hey, I was going to ask you about that next. Is that right? Because I hear that all over.
Yeah, I have seen that same picture at every single lake in the U.S. And everybody claims it's always somebody's brother's, uncle's, cousin's, nephew's dog was a diver. And it scared him so bad that he never dove again.
Yeah.
But now Do I think there's some big catfish swimming around in PK? Oh yeah. Do I think they're the size of a Volkswagen? No.
No. But
It wouldn't surprise me if somebody caught a 50, 60, 70 pounder out of there.
yeah, we were talking about earlier, fishermen are a little bit.
Oh yeah. Exaggerated a little bit.
Yeah, we actually had a pretty good catfish last year when I was telling you about it. I like to go out there and crappie fish in the wintertime. And my best friend was with me, works with me here in the shop, and we were kind of slow, and I looked at my wife and said, we're fixing to head to the lake. I can't handle it anymore. And I knew it was on a Saturday, so I knew there wouldn't be hardly anybody out there in the winter because it was cold. We get out, he catches a 35-pound blue cat on a crappie jig. I don't know how we got it in. I kept telling him it was on a crappie rod, and I'm looking through my live scope, and I just see it looks like about 7 or 8 crappie that are going towards this jig, and I'm fixing to get bit. There's a bunch of them. He gets bit. It wasn't 7 or 8 crappie. It was one catfish that looked like that. It was just broken up on my screen. He sets the hook and he goes, "That ain't no crappie." And I went, "Oh crap, we're trying to get away from the trees." And I put that trolling motor on and just got out there. That dude kept bulldogging back towards the trees, and we got it in. We got a picture of him holding this big old giant catfish on his shoulder.
Blue cat?
Yeah, blue cat. Yeah, it was about 35 pounds, I think is what it was. My scale was maxed out. It was over 30. It was cool. There's some big ones in there.
There are.
I don't know how to pattern a catfish.
You and me
Nor do I want to.
No.
But anyway, it was fun.
Yeah, the only time you're going to see me fishing for catfish is if there is no hope of catching strappers.
Even in the wintertime? You want to target them?
No.
Okay.
Not unless I just absolutely have to.
I got a guy that he's a really good friend of mine who broke the lake record on Palapino last year. He caught a 45 or 46 pound blue. He is hooked on catfish.
Oh yeah.
There's some of them guys that are just they're catfishermen that are just as bad into it as bass.
Yeah.
It's bad.
We did a lot of catfishing last winter, and I will say that it is a little bit enjoyable. It's a hell of a lot less running around than you do strapper fishing.
Yeah, I'm too ADD, man. I gotta be doing something. I can't just sit there and watch a line.
Yeah, no, it'll drive you nuts.
I like the way he does it, man. I've been out with him a couple of times, and he uses planer boards, and he's got tracks marked with his Minn Kota, and he'll troll it. He tells me, just like you were talking about with that striper, he's like, man, sometimes they want it at 0.3 mile an hour, sometimes they want it at a half a mile an hour. And he goes, it makes a difference depending on what kind of mood they're in. And I was like, yeah, really? But he'll have 6 or 7 rods out at one time off the back of his boat.
Yeah, good luck trying to do that in PK.
Oh gosh, that's
way too many trees.
Well, I told him that, and I said, could you imagine if you went across the school of striper, what with 6 or 7 rods out?
It can be a mess.
Oh, I bet.
That's where I'm fishing live bait. I'll fish 10 rods, and yeah, you get into the school of striper, it's all hands on deck and then some.
Man, so if one of your clients catches one, do they a lot of times get tangled up with others, or how does that?
Yes and no.
Okay.
It happens. It's inevitable. It's gonna happen.
You probably got leaders and everything tied up and ready to get them back going.
Yeah. As a guide, you're really good at getting bird nests out, and you're really good at untangling stuff.
Man, that's cool.
It's gonna happen.
Probably bait hooks with your eyes closed.
Just about. Just about.
Man, that's cool.
No, you could be sitting there, have all 10 rods out, hadn't had a fish one all day, and then all of a sudden, every rod on the boat goes off at the exact same time.
Wow.
And you've got 3 people standing in the boat, and they're like, what do we do? What do we do? And start reeling.
I'll never forget, man, one time we were out at the same river, and it was bass fishing, but I'd never fished grass before, and there's an old fart that I was fishing with. Sorry, Keith. Anyway, we were fishing, and he was teaching me how to punch hydrilla, and I threw up in there, and that thing goes down the bottom, and boom. I set the hook, and it's got 60 pounds of grass on it. What do I do? He goes, reel. It just winched him out of there. It was so funny, man. But that's all it reminded me of.
Yeah, no, it can be a train wreck.
I bet.
You get one fish that just swims a circle around the boat and gathers up all the other rods, and usually what happens is you hook 10, 8, 9, 10 fish, and you get 3, 4, 5 of them in the boat, and then you spend an hour untangling everything else.
Well, that's pretty good. You get almost your limit in one shot.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And those stripper and sand bass never stop moving.
No, constantly.
What's the key? I've noticed with sandies, I can hold them on their belly sometimes, and they'll freeze.
Yeah, not strappers.
Strappers don't stop.
No, they do not.
And I hear people all the time, just pick up a rattle trap or something. And if you get a rattle trap in the face of a striper, you're going to get a barb in your hand.
My hands just stay cut out.
Do they?
It's a constant, especially this time of year when it starts getting colder. The hands start cracking, and I go home and I just lay there like this. It's like, I don't want to move.
Man, I bet, dude. I used to have a real bad problem right there from where I'd always keep my finger underneath my line, set the hook, and it'd cut me.
Yep.
But I still kept doing it. There was times I'd take duct tape and wrap it around my fingers so it didn't cut my skin.
Oh, yeah. I keep super glue in the boat. All my little cuts and stuff like that right there. Hell, I'll get cut, super glue that sucker.
Man. Well, dude, let's talk about your setup. Are you running a center console or?
Yeah, 25-foot center console. It's a LTB, latitude tournament boats.
Okay.
It's more of a coast-looking center console than what you typically see, but PK can turn into an ocean real quick.
For sure.
Especially a day like today where it's blowing 20, 30, 40 miles an hour. You round a corner and you're in the middle of it.
Hold on.
But no, it's a 25-foot center console, 350 outboard, and P-top, all that, master rod holders, everything.
Cool. So you're running an Instinct trolling motor.
Yep.
And what do you think about that, man?
I freaking love it.
They've made some huge upgrades.
Oh my gosh! Compared to the Altera, that's what I had before.
Okay.
It's an Altera, which you know that.
Oh, I know. That's how we met. He wasn't very happy with me.
Oh, that thing is a piece of crap. It was great till that first part broke. And I don't even remember what it was. It was on a computer board or something like that. Put a new one on it, and then it was literally every 2 weeks something else was broke. Hell, I think before I finally just broke down and bought one of the new Minn Kota Instinct, I think I replaced the head on it twice, the computer board 1 or 2, 3 times, the belts got replaced, just pretty much everything.
I think I'll replace the shaft.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That thing, it was a piece of crap.
Well, that's what I try to tell everybody, because you got a lot of people that want an auto deploy trolling motor, and for y'all guys, I can see where it's huge.
Oh,
you got 6 people out there on your boat. You don't have to worry about getting around them to get your trolling motor.
Excuse me. Get out of the way. Oh crap! Sorry, man.
And they probably get a kick out of it too, man.
Oh yeah.
There's a guy down in Corsicana down at Richland Chambers that a buddy of mine goes out with him all the time. They call it R2D2. His trolling motor.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, but if y'all haven't seen that Instinct and you have a center console and you're wanting to upgrade, man, I can't tell you the changes they made. They beefed up the steering. They beefed up the trim. If you have
way better.
I don't know about your thoughts are on it, but if you're out there and you have problems, if you had the old Altera, it was a nightmare to get that thing pulled up out of the water.
You better have a set of tools with you.
Yeah, you got to pull covers off, pull screws out, do all this stuff. But with an Instinct, they have made it to where you can literally just pull a pin, pull a lever, and pull that dude up out of the water and call your service center.
That old Altera, we were offshore. We're 20 miles offshore trying to anchor up on this wreck and fish, and it kept messing up, and I got so dang pissed off. If I'd have had a wrench that was the right size, that sucker would have been laying on the bottom of the ocean.
It'd have joined the reef.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'd have been making our own new reef. I was done with it.
Man. Well, I'm glad you got that Instinct. You run what kind of electronics you run?
A Humminbird.
Okay.
I've got a Humminbird Apex 19 on the dash, and then I've got Garmin Live Scope on the front.
Oh, okay.
I really don't use the Live Scope for striper fishing. There's guys that do. Steve, for example, he lives by his Live Scope. Yeah. But he fishes for him a lot different than I do too.
Right.
But no, I don't really use live scope. Wintertime, it's getting close to that time of the year. It's going to become invaluable.
Right.
Catching that bait out in deeper water, just not having to go out there and throw them for 6 hours to catch enough bait for a fishing trip.
Man, it has probably changed the game, hasn't it?
Oh, it's changed. I grew up strapper fishing, and it's changed the way I fish.
Wow.
It has definitely changed the way I fish. I'll see fish, and it's like, man, I'll see them on my hummingbird, and I'm like, man, why are they not biting? What's going on? And you see them on 2D and down imaging and side imaging, all that stuff. I'll throw the live scope in the water and just spin around and look at my baits. And it's like, oh, okay, that ain't strappers.
Mm.
That's a bunch of carp or buffalo, and it's like, okay, let's move on.
Right. So you can tell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You look at the ground for long enough, you can craft fish finder long enough, you can start to notice just little minute changes. Catfish, for example, your 2D, you'll see you see the arches, you'll see a really dark red arch, and then it kind of tapers off, but it's real heavy, and then it tapers. Whereas your strapper is going to be more of a just consistent arch.
Yeah. And your crappie, straight lines.
Yeah.
That's what I would look for. That's how I knew that it was crappie.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah. Every fish looks a little bit different.
Yeah. Never could figure out bass. That's why I'm talking about bass fishing rather than doing it for a living. No, but no, it's just crazy how much electronics have changed the game.
Oh, it's live scope changed fishing the same way side scan changed fishing. Or more.
Probably more.
Yeah, probably more.
Because I could cruise by a brush pile, and if I think I see fish in it, I just flip around and drop my live scope in the water, and I know if they're there or not, because I can see them moving.
Oh yeah. Count the crappie in the tree.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll stop here. There's 25.
Yeah. This one's only got 3 fish in it. Let's move on to the next one.
And then you start telling size too.
Yeah.
You start figuring out, okay, well, I just threw my bait out there, and the fish are a little bit bigger than my bait, and I'm fishing with an 1/8 ounce jig.
Yep.
Well, I know that's got to be little bitty baby something, so we're not even going to waste our time. So it's wild.
Now there's something I've always wanted to do. My granddad came up with the idea, but I've never figured out how to actually do it on a big enough scale to be worth doing. But set up a fishing tournament. In today's world, electronics is everything. That's why all these guys, these 20-year-old kids, are winning these big bass tournaments, because they're just plain better at reading electronics.
Absolutely.
They grew up with a phone in their hand.
Yep.
Versus the 60-year-old guy that had a flasher.
Yep.
Up until 20 years ago.
Yep.
And now electronics has changed so much in the fishing industry. But I've always wanted to set up a fishing tournament, 2-day fishing tournament, and the first day you're allowed to use whatever electronics, whatever fishing tackle, whatever rods, reels, your boat, whatever you want to use, go for it. If you want to use live bait, go for it. The next day, put them in a 14-16 foot flat bottom boat, give them a 20 horsepower motor, and lend them 2 fishing rods and whatever they can fit in a little tackle box, and say, all right, we're going to see who's real fisherman and who's just good at reading electronics.
You can do that.
I'd like to. You'd have to provide all the John boats and all that stuff.
I'd love to see like the old Bassmaster tournament, but in flat bottoms with 6 years. 40 boats taking off.
Yeah, back it'd be like the original Bass, where everybody had the exact same boat. And everybody fished out of the same boat.
And I think that's important, but it's as well as I do.
That's not where the money's at.
It's not where the money's at, but I think it's cool. That's how you're going to know who's the best.
That's a one of these days dream.
I'd love to see it. K5 will help support it. Let me know. I'd love to see it. So
give them an oar. Say, here's your trolling motor.
Get after it. I got a funny story about that, but I'll save it for another day. My wife we'd go out fishing. She didn't care nothing about fishing at that time. She just oared me around while I was humming a buzzbait. It was so much fun.
It's a good arm workout.
It worked out good. I'm a big vato, so it wore her out. But anyway, I really appreciate you coming on.
No problem.
Guys,
I enjoyed it.
If y'all want to go fishing and you want to go whack them on PK, give TJ a call.
Shoot, yeah.
You want to give them your information again?
Yeah. Ranft Guide Service, 940-452-8439. Or you can look at my Facebook page, Ranft Guide Service.
I think I already follow you on Facebook.
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna post this podcast, and like I said, guys, you'll be able to see that. Get on there, follow, and share. It seems to be that's what I always keep asking. Yeah. It's not hard, just hit share and okay, and it shares it on the Facebook page. Super free.
It's a great way to support any small business.
Absolutely. Man, I'm going to say it one more time. Give TJ a call, Ranft Guide Service, and until next time, guys, stay tuned. We'll see you on the water.
Thank you for tuning in to Texas Live with K5, your number one source for all things outdoors in North Texas. Please like and subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcast, or Spotify to support us and enjoy more North Texas outdoor content. Like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. If you're interested in joining the show or us mentioning your business throughout the show, contact us at k5trollingmotors@gmail.com.